does this honor feel for you, John Nilsen?
The honor feels great, really. It's, you know, you don't ever do it for that. I mean, it's deep. It's a much deeper experience. It has to be. You've got to do it for the music and for the friends and the love and all those basic things in life that propel you through every day. But it feels great. You know, what I really do. I look at this as a reflection upon my life and believe that all my friends and my parents and my family and all my bandmates and people I played music with all through the decades, they all own a part of this, including my wife and child. So.
Wow, talk more about that.
Well, you know, I grew up in a really cool family. Music was front and center. My mom was a private piano teacher for almost 7 decades, you know, so I grew up where there was just music going on from morning till past bedtime, and that's just what it was. And so it became very normal for me at a very young age. So I knew I was going to go into music young. I did. I got lucky. Some things happened, and that's been a super fun career. Enabled me to drive all around and go all over the world and play. But you know, also it comes back to, as you come back from every trip, to family. It's a good source of fuel for a lot of things and something that needs to be honored. So I think that started for me, you know, just having been raised in a great family where your family and my parents really prioritized their children. So my wife and I did the same.
That's awesome. I have to ask you, did your mom give you your first piano lesson?
She gave me every piano lesson. Yeah, I started when I was 6. Yeah. It's pretty cool, really.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about that. That sounds great.
Well, yeah, you know, I still remember being really excited to start, you know, asking her, can I start? Because I'm seeing this all the time, you know, as a little kid leading up to 6 years old, and there's students coming and going all the time. And then, you know, by the time I'm 6, I say, I got to get in. I got to start doing this. And so I asked my mom, and she's like, okay, well, let's start. And then after a couple of years, you realize really, you know, okay, this is some work. You know, this takes a lot of work, and things start to change. You have to apply yourself. I really didn't apply myself more than any of the other kids that were my age studying with my mom until I got a little bit older and I started liking rock music, and that wasn't much further. And then I said, okay, you know what? I'm feeling this. This is what I'm going to do. I think I knew when I was 7 I'd go into music for my life, and just never looked back.
So you also play guitar.
Yeah.
And so give me a sense of your musical history once you started getting out into the band world.
Well, I started in a duo. I started playing guitar in junior high. I started with my next door neighbor. He's still in my band right now. That band is called Swimfish. We're recording our fifth record right now. And, you know, so largely through junior high and high school, it was all about being in an acoustic duo. I think when I was a senior in high school, before I left to college, I saved up enough money to go buy a Fender Bassman amp and a Telecaster, you know. So that's when I jumped into electric stuff. But I was playing acoustic stuff and doing things, and some early gigs, you know, before I left for college, and brought my electric gear with me. And then I got to college and I had, you know, a few bands, but then the piano thing, that's where I got my first record deal.
So how many records?
We're 2/3 of the way through. Well, that's not the right way to say it. I'm 2/3 of the way through my 22nd album right now, which will probably be released in spring. But 5 of those, including this one, are Swimfish, which is my rock band, a guitar band, guitar vocal. Yeah. Which means, you know, about 17 of them are piano-oriented records for the most part.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how do you make the shift between like solo piano and a rock band called Swimfish?
You mean the shift musically?
Yeah.
Just as, oh, it's easy. It's like walking or running. You know, they're 2 functions that you know how to do, but they call upon different muscles and You know what you have to do. You have to tell yourself what to do, and then you do it. But really, you're steering yourself, from the same source. Really, it's all music. It's just slightly a different vehicle in which you're getting there in guitar or piano.
Do you think one inspires the other?
For me, they do. But I get inspired by anything. I mean, I could be inspired just hanging out here. I mean, I think you have to live your life with your eyes open, because you never know when something cool is going to happen, or something that's going to inspire you. So, yeah, I get inspired by both.
Circling back to this honor, talk a little bit more about, now that you're warmed up, right, give me a shot. I mean, this is a big deal.
Yeah, it is. It's a really big deal. It's been a long road getting here, but I don't look at it like that. When I look back at all the touring that I've done, which is, I think it was 24 flights a year for 25 years, consecutive years, until COVID, and then it went down to no flights. And so you do all this touring, and it seems like a lot of work, and it is, but you have to remind yourself, you're very fortunate if you're doing that. That's what everybody dreams of doing. I really love touring, because for me it was exactly what I set my sights on when I was a little kid. And so, I learned how to do it as I got older, and I got better and more skilled, and learned what to stop, and learned what to really go for. And you have to sort of refine your whole deal, your whole approach to it as you get older. At least I did. So it was great for me, and when I get to this point, and I'm still touring, but I'm touring a little bit less, I think back, to some of the first early crazy gigs, stuff I wouldn't even tell you about, that happened, and being here is really just a result of all of it, coming, all of it's accumulated. I mean, you have a lot of crazy stuff that happens on the road. There's also a lot of really beautiful things, and as much as you can, you try to point yourself toward that stuff and get away from the rest. And that's the challenge that everybody has to face and sort of learn on their own, I suppose. But for me, that's what I do. I do that, and as I look back and as I accept the award tonight, I think, man, what a great time it's been. I've been very lucky. I've worked really hard, but it hasn't been work. It's been a labor of love, and I've been blessed and lucky, and I've enjoyed it immensely.